So I've now got a chain, a foundation chain, and I'm ready to now work some double crochet stitches into this. I'm just going to show you how to count your chain. You never count the loop that's actually on the hook itself, but the stitches or the chain before it. And you can see clearly here that I've got these V's showing, and these are each individual chain. If I turn it over, it's really bumpy and it's really hard to decipher the different stitches. So important, always facing upwards, make sure you can see those V's and then you can clearly count them. So as I say, we don't count the loop on the hook, so we count backwards from there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oops, and there we go, 10. So I've got 10 V's to work into. Now I'm going to work into this foundation chain. Sometimes it's called a base chain. And to do that, I need to just add one more chain in order to turn on myself. So this is called a turning chain, and it's just, in this case, one chain. And it's really because to try and get into the one preceding would be really tricky. So I'm now going to work into the second chain back. So into this one here. And to work a double crochet, it takes 2 steps. I'm going to first of all go into the stitch, right into the middle of that V, and bring the yarn back up to the top. And I've now got 2 loops or 2 threads on my hook. Now this is the second step. I now need to put the yarn on, just like we have done before. And now this time I'm going to pull the yarn all the way through both stitches. So let me do that again. So I'm going into the next V with the tip of my hook, straight through the middle of it, bring the yarn back up, ease it off. When I mean ease it off, it sometimes feels a little bit knotted looking. So you just pull it up nice and neat. And I've got then those 2 threads on my hook, yarn on through both of those. Keep working down my chain into the next one, to the middle of that V, yarn on, bring it to the top, yarn on through those 2. So you can see what's happening is I'm working from right to left back down the chain. So I'm just going to keep on going. Remember we had 10 chain on our hook plus that extra turning chain. So at the end of this I'm going to just count them and make sure I've got the right number. So again, into that next chain and through. Always at the beginning of any crochet project, it's always quite tricky to work because there's so little to hold on to. This gets easier on the next row. So once more, nearly there, I'm nearly at the end of this base chain. Keep going, and I can see I've got 2 more chain. There's 1 more to go. And I'm at the back, at the beginning of my slip knot I made at the beginning. And an easy way of just checking whether you've actually got the right number is slightly turn it over, and then you can see how neatly those V's are showing. So again, from the top, don't count the one on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 stitches have been worked, 10 DCs. Now I'm now going to turn this around because I now need to work back along those stitches to keep my crochet growing. So again, it's a turning chain. I'm going to do 1 just to give me a little bit of height, and I'm going to work now into each of those stitches we've just made. Now this is a bit easier because I'm now not going into the middle of the chain, I'm actually going into the stitch. So I'm going to put my hook through, and you can see I'm going right across. It's important that you go through both loops, not just one. And that's 1 DC, and again, just looking from the top right through. That's my next one. Right through the top. What I mean by both loops, I'll show you. If I go through one of them, this is just the first leg, you can see it's only 1 strand and I've missed half of the stitch. So let me pull that out and do that again all the way through, so you can see there's 2 loops on the hook and through, and then you can work that DC. So I'm going to take us all the way to the end of this row, and I'll do another check that we've got the right number of DC stitches. And we have 1 more to go into that last stitch. And yet again, let's check from the top. Don't count the one on the hook, whoops, and count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there we have a mini swatch of double crochet stitches.